Bring guns, do things, run drills with us. It is a no fire zone. Lucas has requested that we disable PvP for this meetup because we'll all be in the same place. You can just wipe the podcast. Just take all four of us, and Art and War
Oh,
will
Jesus.
be no one. So yeah, no fire zone. You cannot take our place as any of the hosts.
Yeah, just let Langley know that we will all be gathering in the same spot, and if you want to completely, like, John Lennon this show, there is the opportunity.
I wear level 4 plates, so aim for my pelvic girdle or my head.
You're listening to the Art and More podcast with your hosts, Nathan and BR. Nathan is a Canadian illustrator with a couple years of military experience, and BR is a British anarchist that moved to the States. Both are passionate shooters and community builders. Together, they run the Seaburn art page. Enjoy the show.
Beep. Okay.
And
Shooter, you understand the course of fire?
Absolutely
Yes.
fucking not. I
Hello.
never do.
Welcome to the Art and War. We're talking over each other again. Hello, welcome
No.
to the cold open that we're really good at. That I'm still talking over you for. Let's just start this again from the ground up. 3, 2, 1. Hello. God damn it! Fuck. Hello, guys. Welcome to the Art and War podcast. This is totally not our third attempt at a cold open, because when BR and I get together and I've slept for like 8 hours cumulatively in the last 2 or 3 days, God, I'm just a pile of fuck right now. BR, how are you?
I'm doing good, dude. I've been unpersoned.
You've been
again.
unpersoned by the big Zuck.
Yeah, for like the ninth
Again.
time.
I was
since
going to say
2019.
you lasted a fucking hot minute, but they banned you leading up to the election before, and
Yeah.
we're getting up to the election again. It's like all anti-government, anti-voting rhetoric is just like dunzo. Like,
Yeah,
you
dude.
pissed off some blue hair in Meta's headquarters.
Well, it's weird because I really didn't do anything this time.
No.
I think my account might have been previously flagged for like being anti-voting, because I brought up that sentiment a lot of, like, you know, what's the fucking point of your vote? And I mean, the debates really showcase that. I haven't watched it yet. I've just seen like memes, a few sound bites and headlines, and the fact that even the Democrats, like, not like, you know, DNC TM, but like
Yeah.
regular, like, as he said, blue-haired Democrats who are like wildly defensive of Biden are like,
Yeah.
oh my god, we're so fucked.
Yeah. Oh man.
Like,
So like seeing the Republicans talk about it, they're like, yeah, Trump won. Seeing like moderate Republicans and whatnot talk about it, I swear to God, this isn't going to become a politics podcast. We just have to fucking talk about this while it's topical because it's very funny to me. Moderate Republicans are like, yeah, this is a fucking disaster. All Democrats are like, yeah, this is a fucking disaster. Didn't they go on an old man rant about like who has the better golf handicap for
Yeah,
like 10 minutes?
it's fucking
Holy
wild.
shit.
And so it was no surprise to me, like, today didn't post anything about the debates, and I just get told that I'm banned. I'm like, oh, that makes sense, because clearly they're gonna have to really fucking wind up the propaganda machine this season. So, like, without even the slightest knock against me, it was just like, yeah, just fucking wipe him off the map.
Yeah, without anything, which is ironic because you are very much like not a partisan candidate. You're like, yeah, this is gay, and that's pretty much been what we're about since the beginning.
Well, that is, I think they labeled it within shadow banning, or like their rules, as like, I don't know if it was called an anti-democracy stance or like an anti-voting stance, but
Yeah,
that
that
wrong.
was
You're not
that was
allowed
written
to
into
have that opinion.
yeah. That was an update into the terms of service in I think
Yep.
2018 or 2019. Like
No,
if
it
you
was,
talk about
it was much later than that.
really,
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember talking about it with Mitch in like 2019, but I might be wrong. If you
Man.
talk shit on voting, you talk shit, get hit essentially.
Yeah,
And by
yeah.
hit, I mean banned by some fucking blue hair,
Yep.
like they them.
So R.I.P. BR the Anarch. It was a good run. I was
Yeah.
stuck at 14k for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, you had to type in the full thing, and I don't know. It's not the worst thing in the world. Like I said, like, the account was shadow banned to shit.
Yeah.
As most of us are. And then beyond that, like, the name, I liked the name, but I only named it that because last time I was fucking banned. I started out my Substack so I could still, communicate my. I called them radical opinions today, and I was corrected quite correctly by by someone I work with. They were like, "Your opinions aren't extreme."
No,
Like,
they're really not. I say that from a place of extreme bias. So
well, yeah. I mean, like, a lot of people hear the term, and honestly, that was another. What I was getting into was like, my Substack was called The Anarch, and so when I came back with my profile after finally being able to get back on Instagram, I called the account The Anarch, and I was like, it just sounded a little pretentious after a while, and also, I don't know. I've had a billion accounts over the years. Like, there was Bloody Revolutions. That was the first really spicy one, and I
yeah,
came back
dude, that and it's really funny to me to hear all of the guests be like, yeah, BR, like that's how you got me into a bunch of the stuff. I say the same thing. It's like you were one of the accounts that made me the way I am, which is fucked up, and I don't know whether I should thank you, but thank you.
it's I'm so chill, but so many people who are like, I don't know, they're really fucking cool dudes, but like who were in a very different place before they came across
Yeah.
that stuff are like, oh dude, yeah, like changed how I thought about things. I'm like, fuck man, that's really cool. And it's why I've bothered to keep on fucking coming back to Instagram, even though I love being terminally offline, and
Yeah.
I don't care to commit to brain rot or doing the influencer thing. It's just it pays off so nicely um to hear like I fucking Slade say
Yeah.
sorry, I shouldn't say fucking Slade. I love Slade. I don't mean that in any negative way.
I
But
didn't think you
Slade
were. I thought you said like I fucking slayed, like you killed, you did a good job. I thought you were being like, yes, queen.
Yes, queen indeed. No,
Um,
like Slade saying that I swayed his opinion. Like a guy
Yeah.
who'd gone out into the world and seen some very real shit could still have his opinion changed after having the career and life that he had. It's like, well, fuck. I guess this stuff is worth doing, even if it's all temporary. Like, it's no way to become well known. You just get PP slapped every few years that you're
Yeah.
inconvenient and you have to come back as something else, and only like 5% of the people that followed you find you again. It fucking sucks. It's a ball ache.
It is, and 100%. I think it's meant to demoralize. You remember those like Twitter
100%.
leaks, like
yes.
yeah, where the government just sends a massive list of all the accounts that they just want donezo, and Twitter was like, okay, and just
Yeah.
banned everyone.
Yes, sir. And
Yeah.
the exact same thing exists for Facebook and still exists
Yeah.
for Facebook. Like,
100%.
I don't want to get into the whole like, is Musk a god, like a secretly super based, etc. dude?
No,
or
he's
is he
just some dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Fuck it.
He-
I couldn't
yeah.
tell you one way or the other. But
He's a dude with different politics than all the other annoying rich dudes. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna. Yeah.
yeah, that's about it. And and who even knows how sincere that is? But I will say it does seem like he's being a lot more forthcoming with how these social media things operate, and it's really only because of what he's done with Twitter that we know about all of that censorship. For sure,
Yeah.
was going on, and like I said, there's no
Yeah,
doubt
the
that shit was
leaks-
happening
Yeah.
with Facebook too, and Meta, so Instagram.
Yeah. The leaks and everything were terrifying. Genuinely, like the implication of them, I'm surprised people didn't freak out a hell of a lot more.
I mean, like, there's been so much of that the last few years, and it's something we talk about on the show all the time. Is like, it's just we just keep on having things that we guessed at confirmed, and it's so unsurprising it barely registers as a headline anymore.
Yeah, if you ever mention any of that, it's like, yeah, we've known they do that the entire time. But now there's proof. Yeah, but we've known they do that the entire time. It's like there's no recourse to any of it. It's like, oh, government doing government, corporations doing corporations. Like,
And the unholy alliance between them working out pretty nicely
Yeah.
for him.
like what can you do? Just not use these platforms? Yeah, you cannot use these platforms. And I say that from like a point of supreme hypocrisy, because I do legitimately, I think, less than the bare minimum that we need to keep the page going. The Twitter's dead. I never even touched the Twitter. Like Lucas,
I need to
just-
get
so we
into
should
the
we should
Twitter.
delete that. Either
Mm,
you use the Twitter or we should delete it, because
I think Lucas is in control of it right now.
I don't think Lucas has posted on it since. I don't want to look, from what few screenshots that I saw, I don't want to fucking look. It's awful.
No, Twitter is talking. I don't know if they've already, or X or whatever the fuck, has implemented some kind of new video thing to kind of try and rival YouTube. And a good friend, Prince Repeat, I think he was talking about starting to experiment with X's video feature. I don't know if it's active yet or not. Actually, no, because Tucker Carlson was doing his. No, seriously, like he has a major show on X where he interviews people, and it's like
I believe it.
It might be a worthwhile platform to switch to and start sharing video content. Like Phil and I just went down to Alabama and did some range stuff with some listeners, and Phil's actively editing together kind of I think it's like around half an hour video of just our range day, the drills we were running, the guys running the drills, me and him individually run the drills, and then doing some pistol stuff. And it's just kind of a vibe. It's not quite like a
that.
full video episode. It's like a little video bonus episode.
Yeah,
so
but it's stuff that we could potentially put on, a video bonus episode or like X video or whatever. Xvideo.com. That's where all our stuff's going to be.
No, I mean, like, if Instagram's no longer going, like, we'll always try and maintain an Instagram presence for Seaburn, at least, as long as they'll have us.
As long as they'll have us, because I do want to.
Yeah.
For the record, do not go to xvideos.com. It is a porn site. I was making a joke. Please don't do that. Sorry, continue.
No, like the whole goal is proliferation and always has been of ideas and capability, and that's why we've stayed on Instagram as long as we have.
Yeah,
and
100%.
why I've kept on coming back to it, because there has always been the opportunity to reach people.
Yeah.
Even if we weren't welcome on the site, like, the engagement that we create in the big picture for Instagram is appreciated. But then when it's time to get fucky with how accessible that stuff is, because it influences like during election seasons or sensitive times like fucking COVID, they clamp down on it and remove accounts that are problem children. So it's all fucking temporary. I mean,
it is.
Even the Seaburn page itself, I think this is the 3rd iteration, right?
More than that, but in its current iteration, it's the 2nd. Like with me on and the show and all that. We've kept it pretty PG. I did. We got PP slapped a little bit late last year when I advocated for
tickling
of people who dump garbage at ranges. And
that's right.
I mean, I did unironically, like as a legal threat, I did advocate that people
tickle
violently with power tools people who litter at ranges. It was not a joke. It was a legal threat. I do think that if you see someone littering and dumping garbage at a range and if they don't take it, you should take a power drill to both of their legs and chain them up in your basement and just like
tickle
them apart piece by piece, just like starting from the feet. This is my legal opinion. Legally.
What if I post this as the promo for the episode on Instagram, ironically?
Probably get removed again. They didn't like that. The Instagram gods got us a shadow ban for quite a while for that, and the post got taken down. Dude, but either way, we've got, hopefully now our lives are kind of equalizing. I know I've been saying, oh, guides are coming back forever, but like I have such a fucking backlog, guys. Like some very cool people sent good content in that I've just been sitting on because it's fucking time consuming to make a guide. Like this is not an excuse. This is, I guess,
a reality.
It's just a reality. Like it takes me days and days. Like I proofread, I reformat, and then I draw. And like each drawing is an asset on its own. It was easy during the Mitch days because I was locked at home and didn't have a life.
Mitch put you in the basement.
He put me in the basement, and the Canadian government was paying me to exist, I guess.
Yeah.
But now, like, Jared from Orion Training Group just gave me a guide on doors, just like the anatomy of a door. It is so simple, but like useful. I started going to courses with a local SEER instructor. He teaches SEER for the Air Force Base up in Northern Washington.
Mm.
and he's fucking great. American Reconstruction Concepts, and he just wrote a guide and like intro to Seer, and I think it's gonna be great. I
Wow,
just have to like put it together.
I've wanted some kind of seer guide for a very long time, even if it's just like the
Dude,
most
fucking same, and he knows his
the
shit.
most the most simple introductory ideas, because
Yeah,
it's probably one of the more critical skills for your average like citizen rifleman anywhere on the
100%.
planet.
No, you're absolutely right. I'm really looking forward to getting to that. And now that things are equalizing a little, and with the work that I have coming down the pipe that I can't really talk about too much, maybe if I get a text back by the end of this episode, I think it should free up a little bit of my time.
Yeah, no, seriously. This week's episode is brought to you by Two Grunts Inc. Two Grunts Inc. is a veteran-owned and operated rifle manufacturer crafting firearms with professionals and prepared citizens in mind. All of their parts and components are developed, tested, and manufactured to perform using the most standard of mil-spec 5.56 ammunition. Purpose-built work guns is their motto, and rifles made to last is their ethos. With high-end components and materials used in all of their rifles, like their 4150 CMV nitride-treated barrels utilizing a 223 Wild chamber and a 1-in-8 twist, optimized for both M855 and M193 ammunition, achieving 1 MOA or better with most manufactured mil-spec ammos. Bolts made out of 9310 super alloy steel and carriers made from sharp-peened 8620 steel, maximized for increased toughness, wear resistance, and strength. Each and every part has been meticulously thought out, deliberately tested, and expertly manufactured and installed. Each rifle also comes standard with a 45 or 90 ambidextrous fire controls, gas buster and charging handles, and many other high-end functional parts. Check out their website, twogruntsinc.com, that's TWO as in 2, and GRUNTS as in rifleman by trade, INC.com, to purchase one of their rifles, or other parts for sale. Use the code CBRN, that's Charlie Bravo Romeo November, to get $50 off your order. That's CBRN to get $50 off your order. Be sure to also check out their Instagram and YouTube at twogrunts_inc to learn more about them, their rifles, and their other products. Once again, that's code CBRN to receive $50 off your entire purchase at twogruntsinc.com. Thanks guys for listening. Now let's get back to the show. Introducing new show sponsor, Medusa Targets. Take a break from mindlessly shooting into trash and elevate your training game with targets that are not only detailed, but hilarious. Medusa Targets believe in quality without compromise. When you purchase from them, you get night vision compatible, high-end targets that include complimentary training materials, multiple hitboxes, and designs that enhance your journey as a shooter. Their philosophy revolves around targets serving two purposes: sharpen your focus into a weapon, and to aid your training rather than hinder it. Our personal favorites are, of course, the Art and War Pack, which features 6 Redcoats, 6 Loot Drop Larrys, 6 Ron Jeremy hostage targets, 6 Killmonger Totally Not Klaus Schwab targets, and detailed firearms drills. You can see much of Nathan's handiwork amongst the Medusa target range, guaranteed to get lost from your shooting group. It also includes a reusable water-resistant pouch for added convenience. If it ain't raining, it ain't training. Medusa targets offer a wide range of options, from shoot and no-shoot targets, competition targets, range games, zeroing targets, and much more. There's something for every type of shooter, guaranteed to turn heads and spark envy. And here's an exclusive offer for our audience. Get a wild 40% off your Medusa Targets order by using code ARTandWar40. You can find the code and the website link in the description of this episode. Once again, that's ARTandWar40 for a fantastic 40% off discount on your Medusa Targets order at MedusaTargets.Shop. A big thank you to Medusa Targets for sponsoring this episode. Big things coming, people. Like, we have been working so fucking hard on
I'm gonna
a
kill
bunch
myself.
of things to really to really kick this show up to the next level. Things like this band don't help.
Yeah, no,
but-
that fucking sucks.
Yeah, but
Here's hoping. Are you fighting it at all? Maybe if someone's listening to this and you know a meta person.
They wanted a video selfie.
I mean, like, they already have your face. It's the fucking government / corporate merger. I'm not saying you should do it. I would feel weird too, but like, they know what you fucking look like.
I mean, I don't doubt that. It's just a violation. It's a blatant, like, bend the knee and suck my dick kind of violation. And fuck
just
you.
old Mark Zuckerberg with his 511 plate carrier and his
it's just like Meta is becoming so fucking putrid to exist on, and I feel like you have to violate so many like basic basic principles of self-respect to continue to exist on Instagram.
I hate that.
like our community gets absolutely fucked. Like you have to tiptoe around posting guns in the gun industry and community. Like one day, if there is so much as like an identifiable silhouette of an action uh in your photos on Instagram, like you'll get insta-zucked or shadow banned to all hell, and then someone who does paid advertising will be completely untouched
Yeah,
until like an election season or something, and then it's like, well, no, none of this can be viewable because the
yeah.
advertisers.
I was going to say, like, I get ads all the time, and I remember they were shadow banning or straight up removing posts that had art of guns.
Yeah.
Like that art that Page did, it was like a hot dog with an AK in it. That got
Yep.
hit. And that was the most innocuous thing. Like it was like a colored pencil drawing. And then I log back into my personal account and I get an ad from like knockoff law folders from a
Yeah.
company called Immaculate. Fuck those guys, by the way. Like the law people are pretty cool. I hate to see people's IP just like blatantly ripped.
Well, it's so cheap when it comes from a company. Like so many of them will be like American innovation and just try and like Star Spangled Banner marketing the fuck out of their like rip-off product that's more than likely made overseas, and you're like,
Oh, 100% it is.
what
Like
in the fuck?
you can't make that for the price of selling it for in America. And like American innovations, like yeah, other Americans that you just stole the IP from. It's
Love
like
it.
R&D does take time and money. It does. And I'm not going to justify like Wilcox charging $550 for a fucking helmet mount, but like there's a reason certain things are the price that they are. And other times it's because they want to take advantage of government contracts and they don't give a fuck about civilians, but we're getting into the weeds.
Aye. No. It's like I was just to add to that. I saw just today there was some Instagram ad of a guy doing like rifle drills, and it was just like a t-shirt company catering to the kind of brovet tactical community, or like brovet wannabe tactical
Yeah.
community.
These colors don't bleed.
Yeah, they look like a somehow an even shittier Finance and Maneuver clone.
Oh man.
It's
like which way Western, man? Do you go grunt style or Finance and Maneuver?
Do you do you punch holes in drywall, or do you just
I can't say anything. I do draw a lot of skeletons with nods for a lot of people, and a lot of those people are very cool. And I thusly have a lot of shirts that have skeletons and nods on them, but I do prefer wearing my God's Drunkest Driver.
It's that now that is truly like art.
It is. I'm pretty sure I already did my bit on this show about it.
Oh yeah, going around to gun stores and stuff. But
yeah.
Man. So anyway, aside from the bullshit,
Yes.
you've been doing some more courses up in Idaho, huh?
Yeah, fucking Jared's back. Ryan Training Group. He came to do a course up at PSOC, PSOC, which is a really unfortunate name. In
yeah, we were up in PSOC.
PSOC. But PSOC does not fall off the tongue as well as PSOC. But no, it's legitimately in like northern Washington near Spokane, in Spokane Valley. There is a kill house you can just rent and train in, and it's similar to DAC that was in Coeur d'Alene. He's just running a CQB course there, so of course I'm like, Jared, hey, I'm coming to sexually harass you, and I just I'm there now. A big thing is, and part of this is just me being pedantic. I'll talk to people and they'll be like, "Oh, best barrel length CQB." You like, "Oh, I want my 8-inch 300 blackout. I want like an 11.5." So and so. So I brought like a 20-inch M16 with like a big muzzle device and a fixed stock, just to kind of prove a point. That's what I learned CQB on back in the day. And while it is not ideal, it's doable. Like I'm doing it.
It's like your 2024 C7.
Actually, I texted my dad being like, "Hey, it's a C7. I got one. He's like, no, it's not. No, like you're missing the L can. Like, shut up, Dad. You don't even know.
Wait, did your dad say that?
Yeah. He's actually coming up to visit me in August at some point. So is my mom. I guess I'm just airing my dirty laundry. These two hyper liberal, like mixed race couple from Eastern Canada coming down to visit me in rural Idaho, and I'm going to go take them to a rock pit to shoot tannerite.
Hell yes, radicalize the. It's so weird that you are like referring to my race mixing parents.
my race traitor parents. But it's mostly as like initially when I moved here, they're like, you're going to get killed. They'll see your slanty eyes, and the rednecks will just take you to pieces in the back of a pickup truck with an axe. And I'm like, it's like, Mom, I got a Glock.
Mom, all the racists are not white here.
Yeah, Mom, I am the racist.
Oh no, it was me all along.
Racist.
Maybe the racists were the friends we made along the way. That makes no fucking sense.
No, it's like, dude, you've never met anyone that's more racist than like an Eastern Asian person ever. I'm pretty sure. Like my mom watches so much CNN, she watches so much MSNBC, she eats up all of that shit, and then she's like, "You can't go to that area of town. That's where the dark people live." It's like,
The
Mom,
super predators.
What? It's really fucking funny to me though. The culture shock is going to be incredible. They're going to be here in early August. You're going to be here in early August as well. Maybe somehow you'll actually meet them. It's doubtful, but
are they gonna be there like around the weekend?
The 10th
plans. Yeah.
Yes, we've announced we're doing something on the 10th, so I guess we can talk about
Have
it.
we?
Yeah, we have. We
let's
have
reiterate
none of the logistics done, but the date's nailed down.
Okay, so the people, if you haven't heard yet, the weekend of the 10th and 11th, we are planning to be gathering in northern Idaho.
We are doing a gathering in northern Idaho. There are going to be strippers and and you know what?
Hell fucking yeah.
August 10th, northern Idaho. Monster trucks, women. I don't know how to do this. Probably like one woman.
Someone's girlfriend that got
dragged along maybe. But we are going to do a range meet and greet, open shoot day thing. Nothing has figured out. Just know we're doing something in August in Coeur d'Alene. Shit, I wish I had. We have two Grunts Inc. They make guns.
Really good fighting rifles.
Really good fighting rifles. Like, unironically, they do come with all of the little upgrades that I would do myself. I'm not being paid to say this. Like, they come
paid to say this.
Well, I'm not being paid to give my opinion. If I don't like something, dude, you know how much fucking money we've turned down from stuff we don't like?
No, I'm acutely aware of that.
Yes. Okay. But yes, it has all of those stupid little upgrades that I always do, like the A5 buffers and the gas-busting charging handles and the criterion level of quality of barrel where it shoots my cheap ammunition, like 77 grain. Now I feel weird because this isn't the pre-recorded advertisement.
You know, we firmly believe in putting to use the stuff that we advertise on this show. And so we'll actually be able to do that at this weekend gathering up in Idaho, running these guns. Believe we'll be doing a range day involving these rifles, so you'll be able to come up and kind of get your hands on one if you're if you want to check out their rifles. So it'll be kind of a meet and greet range day like we did out in North Carolina at AWS.
Live episode if we can make it work. Lucas might be down for it. We're trying to fly him out.
Yeah, we will see.
Yeah, we'll see.
To like the other side of the world is a hell of a feat.
But he did say on his own that he will come, even if he has to go out of pocket. So he's more excited about this than most things.
Yeah, I told him it's gonna be like a gun heavy weekend, and that it will be. So
Yes. Bring guns, do things, run drills with us. It is a no fire zone. Lucas has requested that we disable PvP for this meetup because we'll all be in the same place. You can just wipe the podcast. Just take all four of us, and Art and War
oh
will
Jesus.
be no one. So yeah, no fire zone. You cannot take our place as any of the hosts.
Yeah, just let Langley know that we will all be gathering in the same spot, and if you want to completely like John Lennon this show, there is the opportunity.
I wear level 4 plates, so aim for my pelvic girdle or my head.
I wear dragon scale armor, so who knows if it'll work or not.
Did you actually get fucking dragon scale armor?
No.
What
no.
are you? Are you from Far Cry?
No, I was texting you about this the other day. I may or may not have been smoking, and I just went down a fucking rabbit hole. I was like, whatever happened to dragon scale armor? And I deep dived the fucking issue because it happened when I was like a kid. Obviously, it was
Yeah.
it was early global war on terror, and I think it might have been 2008 when it was officially like shit canned. Um, but it sounds like, to me, it sounds like a tale of like big military industrial complex squashes potential rival.
Yeah.
And excuse me, that is somewhat the thing that had circulated because obviously there'd been rumors about a type of armor that was like far superior to regular hard rifle plates at the time. And dragon scale, for anyone who's, well, our younger audience members who might not have ever seen this,
Yeah,
it
who
was
didn't grow up on Discovery Channel's like
yeah, I
weird
think it was in
military
like
industrial complex hour.
it was in like the old Army of Two games. I think there was it
Yeah.
was like it was of that era. It was like the advanced technology in terms of armor.
Yeah.
Because they show it on like History Channel and shit like that. So
Yeah.
it was
Future Weapons, that's the show.
future weapons. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was like scale, so it was flexible hard armor rifle plates. So it would conform to the body better, like dragon scales. It was flexible scale like structure, and so rumors had gone around that a far superior armor existed, and the military was like either cheaping out or just didn't give a fuck to issue this to our brave, our brave lads going over to Iraq and Afghan, and they were kind of like they were fucking them by not giving them the spare stuff, making them wear heavy ass rigid plates. So anyway, these rumors had gotten so big and so many. It was available for sale privately, but it hadn't been adopted by the military. So private families had started to buy this dragon scale armor and shipping it off to their deployed or about to be deployed family members. And so they, I think they ended up banning dragon scale armor by frontline guys, or I think no, it's just military wide. And then there was some general, I think it was a general, and his guards like doing close protection work. Even though there was the ban, they were continuing to use dragon scale armor. There was like all sorts of crazy shit about this armor going around at the time. And so I was just sitting there like just smoking and deep diving this fucking thing, texting Nathan like, you think we could get the CEO on?
I'm really curious because I've been because I did a deep dive also many years ago now because like it occupied space in my head, and when I started getting into body armor, like I saw this thing in Future Weapons. Why is it not?
Why is that not a thing?
But from what I gleaned from it, it was a lot less tinfoil hatty, more just like it failed trials. The wild temperature fluctuations apparently fucked with the chemical composition. I don't know how true it is. Yeah.
Well, exactly. That's the thing. Like,
yeah. If you're doing close protection, you're probably not dealing with that quite as much as a grunt.
Yeah. Just like always being exposed compared to going out of AC, like building with AC into vehicle with AC, and I don't know that. Not to shit on people who do close protection. I'm sure there's plenty of hours of waiting outside in shitty conditions, hurrying up and waiting and shit. But it's not quite like foot patrols for 6 months or some shit. But regardless, it sounded tinfoil hatty to me because reportedly when the army was doing trials on this, there was like a week where they had possession of it a week prior to trials began, and so there was like I think the company had like the whoever the fuck made this stuff. I text you all the fucking like the company that made it. Dragon Scale Armor. Oh fuck, it's coming up with like Skyrim shit now.
Ah, yeah, it's kind of been out of the public eye for so long.
I know. Dragon Skin, not Dragon Scale. Who the fuck? Pinnacle Armor.
Yeah.
It's since been bought by. Apparently, there's like another company that has since bought it up, and I think the original
It's sitting on the
designer...
patents or something.
No. I think they might be producing this shit.
Interesting. Because you don't see it. Like
No, exactly. Like you'd think it would be one of these fucking AR500 tier companies that are trying to push a gimmick,
yeah.
just like somewhere in the background. But like, Blue Ridge Armor. What's this? Is this them? I have no. Anyway, so I started deep diving it, and I came across like the CEO, and I tracked down some of his information. But the CEO kind of really didn't give a fuck about the idea. Like he defended it and defended the fact that he thinks the trials were fucked with, and that the army had like basically poo-pooed this thing and made it fail a test. And he was like, "Hey, no, do these tests like with like." Open the fucking box from us and test this stuff instead of sitting on it for a week. And so he was alleging that there was fuckery. And I was like, that is a fair assertion to make of Uncle Sam and the military industrial complex. These things happen.
Yeah.
It's sick. Fucking hell. But
this shit happens all the time. Look at fucking SIG. Yeah, which I'm going to outright say it. They stole the contract from Glock.
Oh, dude,
they did some fuckery.
Yeah,
I know you're trying to be coy about it, but I'm going to be like.
I mean, we make the joke like every other week.
Like I've got friends that work at SIG, and they're like, yeah,
yeah, that's totally what happened.
Yeah, like I can't outright say it, but yeah.
No, is it really shocking to anyone?
No,
but
no.
So yeah, I'm somewhere in the tinfoil hat space of like maybe that stuff didn't suck as much as the military just like shit canning it made it appear. I don't know. I'm not gonna go.
I don't know. If someone knows more about this, please reach out, because I genuinely want to know. This sort of shit happens all the time, but I would imagine like years have gone by, and not just military contracts dictate how well things do, and we've all standardized to like level 4 ceramic or UHPWE or whatever the fuck the acronym is, plates. And if you're retarded, probably steel. Please don't be retarded. I wonder why the technology was not adopted more in the civilian market, because like if it's viable, maybe it's cost of production, maybe there's something that we don't know. But it was also like 2008.
The technology's moved a fair bit, I'm sure.
Technology's moved, and also like the market to civilians thing was not nearly as big as it is now.
Yeah.
Like how many civs had body armor in like 2008? like hard plates. Or 2012, 2015 even. Like they exist, don't get me wrong. There's
but no, back then it was the soft body armor market was like the dominant force for civilians, like pistol caliber soft armor protection. Like having a built out plate carrier or even rifle rated plates, like it's a pretty new phenomena.
It is. It really is. Like even the tactical shooting, man. What was your introduction into tactical shooting, like the way you do now? Not like 22s and ground squirrels. I mean, like going and doing
rabbits,
drills.
mate. What was my introduction? It was honestly being in fucking England. It was a mix of both watching Mike's content, Grand Thumb, and also Airsoft. It was Mike before Airsoft. I was interested in quote unquote military firearms, and I had like a gut feeling that civilians have a right to own those, and that it's wrong that we are lesser than our government. That was just like fucking instinctual as a country bumpkin who grew up shooting bolt actions and stuff. Um, I believed in the right to self-defense, and so from there, I like would readily watch more military gun centric like content. So before Mike, it was fucking FPS Russia. And
Dude, I love FPS Russia. That is
man,
someone we
what a
should try
chap.
and get onto the show. He does podcasts. I'm pretty sure that's his main thing now.
Yeah. So
I just have no idea how the fuck to get in contact with him.
exactly. Well,
Yeah.
we should figure that out. But
Yeah.
no, because he seems like a really genuine, cool dude. But
Yeah.
that was kind of my introduction, and then eventually I started doing. I went to this very weird, sort of airsoft field in England that was somewhere between milsim and like regular skirmish, kind of like what you would go to any closed down mall in America and see like their airsoft field would be, that kind of casual play. But it was guys showing up with more of a milsim mentality, like wearing decent camos, decent like cloned guns, like Brits who are fucking nerds about cloning. I think at the time it was like a lot of SEAL clone kind of setups with their gear, all that gay shit. But yeah, that was kind of my introduction into how to properly set up plate carriers, how to properly move through brush and all that kind of thing. And then I learned a lot from like British squaddies who would go and play on the weekends, and like American forces that were stationed in England who would go and play airsoft and shit. So that was kind of my introduction. And then from there, obviously did my British Army officer bullshit, and then went down the pipeline when I moved to the States and started.
That's awesome.
And everything was getting spicy over here.
Yeah. Tinfoil hat on. I think that's kind of one of the reasons that a lot of countries try and ban airsoft. It's a pipeline.
Oh, it absolutely is. Like,
yeah.
It's I mean, just learning how effective a dipshit kid can be against like grown adult men who have deployed multiple times.
Yeah.
Like it just takes one fucking kid who gets lucky and is patient enough in a bush.
You were a literal child soldier.
Yeah, like I was. Me and a buddy of mine we would do all sorts of creepy bullshit, crawling through brambles and stuff that was completely within the game area, but like it was fucked up to come through there. Like it was a bad time, but still, just with a little bit of patience and like acting in a way that would take people off guard, like, taking out 5 or 6 dudes who had like survived heavy, intense deployments in Afghanistan. They're like, "What the fuck, dude?" You're like, "Yeah, that's just saying, people. That's all it takes."
Yeah. That's really funny how that works. And I remember like playing airsoft with some guys who had deployed, and they were pretty squared away, but it is all it takes. I haven't played a ton, but I kind of remember, after, funny enough, my kind of crowning moment was Magpul Dynamics, of all things.
Yes.
Remember
You were of the golden era to be inducted into rifle shooting.
Yeah, it's like Chris Costa and Travis Haley. Hold on, someone's at the door. Sorry, I got interrupted there by 2 very fun individuals.
It's funny that you
yeah.
befriended those guys, and then I befriended those guys.
Yeah, Daryl and Brad are fucking great.
What absolute lads.
Yeah.
Like
we should get into the. I think we did talk about the story about how we met them on the podcast once.
Well, you met them, and then I met them at the AWS get together, and now I've hung out with them independently of you. They're just they're just homies of Art and War, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, but yeah, I was in the military at the time. I think maybe I can't remember, but I'm like, oh, this is much cooler than we shoot. Like, oh, like mag dumping into target accurately, you can do that. Like you can shoot not like one round every 5 seconds, you know, in a controlled environment for prone. Um, and then I went and totally legally, not from a sketchy guy in a garage, bought like an absolutely clapped out bullshit Mini 30 with like pick rails and all this stuff.
Fuck yeah.
It's been long enough that I can fucking, who gives a shit. Like go to the public range and just like drill. Not even the good kind of drill where like checking hit factor and doing all that stuff. I didn't have a shot timer. I didn't have anything. I was like a young kid who just wanted to be cool like Chris Costa, I guess. Be cool like the Beard Man.
Yeah.
And like shoot my Mini 30 with like knockoff airsoft Magpul MBUs from urban prone under a fence. It was great. I love those days.
Simpler times, man. Fucking
Way simpler times.
Like, I really appreciate where I came from, in terms of like how I figured my way into all of this. I think it was very humbling to know that I didn't know shit, and I'm so glad I didn't have like, I don't know, some kind of false confidence instilled in me doing, I don't know. Just I didn't get cocky. I knew that I knew fuck all.
That's good.
I came to the US with open arms, like, please, I will learn anything I possibly can.
Yeah. Dude, it's Dunning-Kruger effect is so fucking real in the gun world. Almost everyone I know who's like, yes, I'm amazing, so-and-so, like, I've been shooting for years. It's like, you get them to do, like, a simple drill, like a bill drill.
Oh, man, I'm sucking today.
Yeah. It's like 90% of the time, those people don't even know a shot timer exists. And then the other end of the bell curve is like, you got Rob Epiphania and like people who compete and actually do well. But generally, until you get to the really high level, people know that they're not God's gift to shooting because they know that there's people above them.
I mean, as it should be. Like, the way Rob and people like him shoot is like, that is what they eat, sleep, and breathe. Like,
yeah,
of course they are massively proficient in it, and they deserve to be because they put the time in. And if you bullshit yourself, like, guys who are like, oh yeah, I shoot pretty good, and they shoot like 4 times a year.
Like, they shoot 4 times a year, and it's always the same kind of shooting, which is just like controlled at their own space, like completely static at like a steel gong or a paper target on their own time.
There's no performance factor. It's just like your own ignorance and ego. And it's so fucking dangerous because that's like, it's kind of at the crux of why we do what we do, is there are so many armed and potentially capable dudes in the world, not just this country. But the majority of those in this country, at least, have been pacified into thinking that shooting 4 times a year and like shooting an AR with no sling, no light, no optic at like 20 yards is what makes you like a Second Amendment absolutist. They're like, hell yeah, brother, I'm doing the thing. I am the patriot. I am the Minuteman. It's like, my brother in Christ, you have 200 rounds of 223 in your home.
It's like, and it's all Wolf or Tula.
Yeah. I have 200 rounds I've lost in my bag. Yeah.
Dude, I swear to God, like, bullets are the herpes of the gun world. They just show up when you really don't want them to. They will, like you'll be going through... Exactly. Man, I had a 223 round from a 249. Just, like, get into one of my jackets, get one of my pockets, something. And, police had to come and take a statement and all that. They didn't give a fuck, but... That was their SOP, I guess. You know, if you try and take a round through TSA, they're gonna PP slap you.
Dude, I got 22 rounds through Heathrow Airport in
fucking
England.
What?
Yeah, because I used to
post 9/11 too.
Yeah, the way I used to shoot was I had that 22. I don't know if you saw the picture of the little CZ22 I posted, but that was the 22 I grew up shooting. I don't know if I send you pictures or not, but regardless, I used to load it had like a little curved mag of 10 rounds. I would load that up, and then I would chuck a handful of extra 22 just loose because I only had the one mag for the thing into my hoodie pockets, and little country bumpkin me, I would then wear the same hoodie like going overseas, like traveling. Uh, and one time I realized, like, right after I'd gotten through security, I had, I think, 3 loose 22 rounds in my hoodie
Dude,
pocket.
that's so fucking funny.
I was like, I was like, I hadn't quite crossed into my like libertarian mindset yet. I was just like a kid that shot. And
Libertarian, isn't that word cute?
like I said, a very long time ago.
Yes.
As a kid, but
I was
like,
going to say.
long before I would ever claim Black Flag. But fuck yeah, I was just like, oh wow, the people that are keeping us safe, quote unquote, are like just fat retards who don't do anything, and they're
Yeah.
like wildly incompetent. Incredible.
Oh, dude, once you start seeing the security theater, it like everything falls apart.
Oh, I saw this must have been when I was like 11 or 12 or something like that.
Fuck yeah.
And I was just like when you realize the incompetence that early, or like that adults aren't really the like people who have their shit together, you're like, oh wow. So what else don't they have together?
Everything.
Yeah.
It was very humbling, and I've definitely brought this up before, to realize that like all adults are just big kids. Like some people grew up, but a majority of people, like for example, my parents. They're my parents. You know, I respect and love them for being my parents, but they're like just big retards. They're just like they don't know their ass from their mouth in a lot of regards. It's like, oh well, you know, they have opinions like anyone else. They're just people, and they're not necessarily more or less mature. It's just a mindset thing.
Yeah. You've got professionals and like mature people who like really dedicate themselves to something and like they like sharpen themselves to what like a mature human should be. Like a mature human is like really fucking good at something. Even if that's just like being a mother or a father, and like that's like an instinctual thing you can become really good at, and that's when you're like mature. But like, or otherwise, like, you're a specialist or in something, or you're a leader. There's some kind of like maturing, and you're no longer like, the same as a kid. And then some people, they never
They just never
succeed
get that.
from that. Yeah, like even they can get old and gray, and I'm sure you've met these kind of people, but like the elderly, like people who are fucking 60, that's really fucking harsh. Like not the elderly, but like older people, like 60 to 80 kind of age range, who like don't have anything going for them. Like they're just an old person. They're not like there is no wisdom. They've spent this much time on the earth, and there was no maturing, there was no specialization, there was no like progress. They're just an old person with opinions. And you're like, wow, that's terrifying.
Yeah, actually, they vote.
Yes, they do.
Oh shit. Oh, fucking politics.
Very topical. No, dude, that's like this fucking year, every election year just becomes like so dominated by politics. But I'm intrigued to see how people respond this time, because like we were saying at the start of the show, people have really clicked to the fact that there are no adults in the room, and like you just have like elderly people who have both served a term as a president yelling at each other
about fucking golf.
About fucking golf. And these are going to be the leaders of the quote unquote free world with like the biggest nuclear arsenal to hand, and they just have to win a popularity contest and not really prove any discernible level of merit. Not even like a cognitive function test is required.
And it worries me too, because like corporations, governments, everything else have gamed and workshopped, and like how to influence mass opinion is basically a science at this point. The only reason that we are not more wake up sheep than they'd like us to be is genuinely just human incompetence. You know, if the machine worked better, if people oiled the wheels more, I feel like we'd be living in a hell of a lot more of a dystopia than we are. At least they haven't figured out. Well, I'm sure they've figured out the formula. They just had problems implementing it.
I think they came pretty close in the last few years, but
I
fortunately,
think so, but thank God for the internet. Like,
no,
as dumb as that
seriously,
is to
like
say.
it's contrarianism and like the culture of rebellion that's been brewed. I mean, this is a good thing to bring up. A couple of freedom refugees were coming up to the 4th of July. This will be the 4th of July week episode, so it's kind of good to bring up. There is still a strong spirit of rebellion, not just in the U.S. but like in a lot of places, and to be somewhat a praiser of American culture. I believe that rebellion has been exported since the American Revolution. You know, like this mentality of revolting in against like kings and like empires really didn't exist beyond interactions between empires before the American Revolution. In a lot of ways, like individuals pursuing their own freedom, fucking peasants pursuing their own freedom to the level that the American revolutionaries did was
Yeah,
not a common thing in history prior to that. And I think I think that's the only reason we didn't get absolutely steamrolled, because that kind of rebellion is so young in terms of like historically the precedent for it, that they still
yeah,
haven't found the exact formula to crush it. That was a really long-winded way of saying something that was probably could be said a lot easier,
yeah.
but you
They're
get
doing
what
their
I'm saying.
damnedest.
Yeah, no, they are, and they did a good job, because really the last few years showed that that kind of thing is effective against around about 50% of the population, if not arguably a little bit more.
Yeah,
It's kind of just the vocal minority that stopped the steamroll from happening completely.
yeah,
Oh god, there's so many out of touch people in charge of
yeah.
so many companies. And I feel
Oh,
like
100%.
things like you're going to see it in the next few years where these companies either like get with it and tick over, and you see leadership either like start to understand where the culture's going and respond in a constructive way to it, with either leadership understanding it and adapting, or new leadership taking over and doing exactly that, or
Yeah,
you're going to see a lot of the old guard start to crumble. And we've already
yeah.
seen it, like the early stages of it. Who was it? One of the big old um manufacturers, was it Remington that went under?
Yeah, Remington, Freedom Group, all of that. There's a lot of reasons Remington went under. I'm not going to necessarily get into it. I'm sure it was a
No,
mix
no,
of factors, kind of a perfect storm.
it's just started to happen. It's the reality of like, you know, just kind of doing the same shit and not innovating, and you know, you get eaten alive by the times. Like
Yeah,
you
no,
have to
no
appeal to
quality
the new
control.
generation. Yeah, yeah.
I I
Like
had a
just living off of
Remington's.
brand only.
Yeah, I had a Remington 700 pattern rifle that, like, if I racked it too hard, the bolt would just pop out and hit me in the teeth.
No
Like the
fucking shit.
late Remington quality control, not good, not good.
That
But
sucks.
I know a friend of mine. He works at CCI Spear, and kind of quietly he mentioned that they took over Remington's old ammunition. Well, I don't know if it's a division of Remington or just a division of Freedom Group, Federal.
Hmm.
And I used to buy a Federal American Eagle for way more than I should have been paying. It was like 90 cents Canadian a round, but Canada.
Damn,
But it's like it's
that was my
budget ammo.
go-to when I first got to the US, just because it was like,
It's cheap,
yeah, yeah, it
and
was a good fucking price at the time in the
it
before
grouped
four
like
times.
in the before four. It grouped like fucking shit. It was like 5-inch groups. Winchester White Box grouped actually better, and now I have some, and it like same kind of barrel. Actually, I just replicated stuff. Groups a bit better, and I talked to him. And he's like, "Yeah, that's a real thing. Their quality control was basically third world." Um,
Oh, that's not shocking to hear, but disappointing all the same.
yes, I still won't touch Winchester.
That's fair. That's fair. There's so many more options these days. It's like, why would you restrict yourself to legacy brands that have survived off of their reputation for like multiple decades.
Yeah. And like if a company does something good and they don't need to innovate, I'm not going to fault them. I could give a fuck, but I'm
Yeah,
not necessarily
I
gonna.
mean, like from a consumer
Yeah,
standpoint, as long as you maintain,
yeah,
like,
quality.
yeah, I don't give
If you're
if you have a niche and you just fucking plug that for decades, like whatever, like
Yeah, if you're really
that's
good at making 1911s, just keep fucking making 1911s. I don't give a fuck.
yeah, it's
I'll probably
boring,
buy
but
one. It's
kudos
great.
to you. Yeah,
Yeah,
excel in your niche. It's not
yeah.
exciting, but like
Crush it, homie.
yeah, exactly. Um, I was just asked by someone at work the other day if it's worth participating in SHOT Show. I was like, it is worth going to network. I'm
Yes.
not sure about having a booth there. Certain people for sure. You mind if we pause real quick?
Yeah, of course, of course.
All right. Are we recording again?
Yes, I just hit record.
God, I was just rambling about fucking SHOT Show.
Yeah, I fucking love SHOT Show, and I realize that like it is a networking thing, and if you don't have a major booth presence, it may or may not be worth it to you. But that being said, I enjoy myself every time I go. The magic is not worn off.
That's kind of wild. But I mean, I came into this space because I believe gun rights are intrinsic to like autonomy and stuff.
Yes.
You are just like a dialed in fucking autistically driven shooter. So like while I'm like really big on the industry and like gear and guns and stuff, I feel like you like are beyond where I'm at with that stuff. Like you're going around to booths like asking technical questions and like picking things up, looking at comparing things in your brain. I'm just like, this is a cool doohickey. Maybe I'll get me one of these.
I don't know. I think you think more of me than I actually do, because like most of the time in my head it was just like a monkey clapping cymbals together.
Bruv, like at the end of every fucking episode, like people don't hear this part, but like Nathan's chomping at the bit to go and shoot before the sun sets. Like
yeah, but
weekly.
that's not necessarily like, oh yes, POF made a new doohickey thing. No, delayed stuff.
I'm saying you have like a respectable level of end user like application. Like there is a reason you would be excited about, like if you're excited about a new thing, it is a worthwhile opinion to listen to, because like if you point something out, I'll listen, because I'm like, oh, Nathan fucking he's on it with what is actually worthwhile and what is just fucking like novelty bullshit.
Thank you. I mean, I have opinions. Like everyone has opinions. Some of mine might be right, some of mine might be wrong. Like I like to think that I shoot enough to have experience and being like, all right, like this is the pros and cons of this. This is the pros and cons of that. But I'm also open to being like, okay, new information. I will change my opinion because it's just that. It's opinion. But that being said, I go to SHOT Show and I look at all the things. It's like, okay, this gun shoot more better. I don't care. Like it's walls and walls of things that don't actually like. I'm topically interested enough and I know enough about it to like ask questions, but I don't think I walked out of there being like, yes, this is a game changer.
No, that is the sad thing, is like there is like amongst a lot of our buddies there is a lot of optimism in me that things are like being made more accessible, things are being proliferated, things are being made more affordable. Things are
that's cool
like,
to me.
Things are on the up, but nothing like struck me as like the world will never be the same.
Yeah. Like, oh no, this gun is now available in a bufferless variant. Like I don't that's cool. Don't get me wrong.
Look at this side charging like bolt, like great.
It's like, okay, it's fine. I'll just take my M16. It's fine. I'm turning that thought, I think.
Yeah, the rifle is fine.
Yeah. And like I'm not going to shit on like I think that stuff is cool. I'm just not like chomping at the bit to get the newest and latest and greatest thing. I don't think anyone should be. But that being said, if they are, that's not hurting anyone either, so I respect it. I don't know. It's like any consumer culture, I think. like video games to movies to stuff, cars, tech.
Dude, I'm so comfortably happy where I'm at with where I settled. Like when I first got to the States, I was so desperate to I didn't want to appear to be the part. I wanted to have everything I needed for my capability like level. I didn't want to
Yeah,
like have a bunch of shit that I didn't know how to use, but I also wanted to have a one for one of everything that I knew how to use, you know? Like
yeah,
so when I first got to the States and had nothing but what I, you know, permanently borrowed from Her Majesty, God damn her soul, um I had like basically cold weather layers and some boots, and that was about it in terms of kit. So like I had to get everything
yeah.
that I knew how to use.
Starting from nothing kind of sucks, and it gets expensive. There's like people I know near me who, and like like I'll video call even like I don't give a fuck people in the Discord and stuff and be like, yeah, this is how you install a hammer pin. Like this is my gear setup. You fucking like this is why this like it's not really good or bad. It's just what I do. But there's simultaneously like too much information and not enough for the really basic stuff. A fellow Gila on the Discord asked the other day. It's like, hey, can you do guides on like the really simple things, like for example, like staking a castle nut or a gas tube or something like that,
Yeah.
like putting the roll pin in a gas tube. And I thought about it, and I don't really want to do one like you can learn on YouTube, which I understand isn't a written guide. Some people prefer written guides, including me. But two, it's like people get really poopy over if you do something like 10% different than how they do.
Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah,
it's you know
that's why I don't do medical guides anymore.
oh dude no we've talked about this. Like that was
Yeah,
my biggest fuck up from when I was doing my own guides. Like
yeah,
of all of the training I received doing my officer training stuff, the
yeah.
medical stuff was the most wildly out of date.
Oh,
And
dude,
like
yeah.
I learned
It,
this stuff in like mid 2010s, and by the
yeah,
time I got to the States, it was like this stuff is 10 years out of date. It was like,
yeah.
well, I did not learn
It,
this 10 years ago. So
yeah.
fuck.
It's moving fast, and even then, it's like any standardized training doctrine, like different teams or different squads or different militaries or different whatever like are going to learn different things. It's like we put up a guide written by a combat medic, like a team's combat medic,
Yeah.
about how to stage a tourniquet, which is like pretty accepted. It's pretty much just like if you learn how to do it, you're probably learning how to do it this way. I'm not going to say it's right or wrong. It's just like the way that you learn how to stage a tourniquet. And we immediately had a different team's medic get really poopy, being like, "Well, what if the limb's blown off and just rags, and you can't get it around there? Why are you staging it to begin with? You should be pulling it." It's like, well, this guide wasn't written for you, buddy. Like, I understand that this is not this is something entirely different, and like you're pointing at really niche things that your use case is not necessarily what their use case is. Like you are primarily dealing with other people's like IED wounds.
Yeah.
Maybe it's yeah,
My thing
but he
especially
got poopy. Yeah,
my thing especially with those guides is like there's like of course there are dudes who have seen a whole lot of shit and have a whole lot of experience.
yeah,
And then when they see guides like that and they're like, you're like, if you don't already know how to do this, then you're fucked. Or they're
yeah,
like this is such like a basic like dummies version of what you actually need to know. It's like, yeah, you
yeah.
know who this
That's
is for? This is for the
yeah,
guy that played Modern Warfare 2 and then went on to be like an insurance guy, but he likes guns and he's trying to do his best. You
yeah.
know, like
It's like
that
cool.
that guy doesn't know how to stage a tourniquet because no one fucking showed him ever. He's never had
Yeah,
the reason to learn.
exactly. And it's like cool. He got a little bit of information about this. Maybe now he'll go take a course.
Yeah.
Maybe now he's interested enough to go take that next step, and a lot of people have. And that's the whole thing. It just kind of made me jaded towards doing the guides for quite a while. And I
No,
want
I
that
feel
motivation
that
back.
as
It's like
yeah.
people got I swear to God, people got more negative over the last few years.
Well,
Like,
it was a rough time. Like, motivation was down, psyops were up. Like,
yeah, and
we
that's on
we
purpose.
no, we'd been pretty successfully divided and conquered
Yeah,
over the last few years, and I think you know, with few exceptions, people like Redbeard continues to like Felix doesn't. He obviously this shit has not phased his German ass at all. He's still doing his thing, kicking ass, giving
yeah,
out free education on the
that guy's
fucking
fucking
daily.
awesome.
And there's plenty of others like him who like continue to give out good information, but I feel like the community has become a little bit more fractured in certain ways, especially with the educational stuff over the last few years, because people start to get into their camps of like throwing rocks, and it's like, oh, who gives a fuck? Like,
Yeah,
I would much rather share educational content and get flack for it, because it's not one to one with someone's experiences, than to put out none at all. Like trust me, call us out if it's like damagingly off base. Like,
yeah,
if it was like, yeah, put tie on a cat tourniquet around the wrist or some crazy shit like that. Like,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah,
But
and
if
like
it's
information changes.
yeah, happily
I've
call
done
us out for it.
3 different versions of the pistol guide now because I get slightly better. I learn new things. I'm like, okay, let's change this one thing that drastically changes your hit factor if
Yeah.
you train on it and those effects stack up. Every time something new comes along, I'm like, okay, yeah, new information, that's fantastic, let's change our SOPs or
Yeah.
techniques or whatever. I think it's fantastic, but some people get really poopy because they learned a certain way, and if you present anything that's remotely different, it attacks them on like a personal level.
Yeah. And I was I'm so fucking annoyed. I need to send you this video, but from our little Alabama range day, um I got like a good clip of how I shoot pistol. And I don't say it's good because it's like the perfect take. Um but it's like it's just very demonstrative of like, yeah, I can be pretty fast, but my my accuracy suffers majorly
Yeah,
from going very fast. And like they're on target, but it's like it's Charlies and Deltas. And
yeah,
so in the clip I'm like, oh shit, well I need to slow down. But like the speed I'm pretty happy with.
yeah,
Um and I was about to share that fucking clip. Now I've been banned, but like people need to just get to a point where they're much more comfortable being real about where their capabilities are. I think a lot of people online are afraid to, because you are defined by your performance. Like
yeah.
that's what you can do. And
Unfortunately, yeah.
yeah,
Which is like, yeah. Sorry, continue.
no, it's much more comfortable to linger in the without confirmation of
Yeah, you
where
never
you're
put
at.
that shot timer on.
Yeah, like you're like, yeah, I shoot a lot. Yeah, I'm pretty good. Okay.
Yeah.
What are your metrics? I
Like,
shoot
I don't
a
know.
lot.
What's
Okay.
bill drill?
Yeah. What the fuck is a bill drill? No. Yeah, it's and I'm as guilty of it as anyone else to varying degrees. But like, I was finally ready to fucking commit to being like, okay, here's my fucking pistol shooting. Like,
Yeah. I respect that.
but yeah, it's easy to say now that I've been fucking banned. Maybe I'll have to post it to Twitter.
Yeah, I'm xvideos, xvideos.com.
Xvideos. No, if you want to follow me on Twitter, I think I'm still at BRHatesFeds,
Based.
which was my preferred Instagram handle after Bloody Revolutions, but that was multiple bans ago.
Yeah.
Let me double check. Yeah, at BRHatesFeds.
Yeah.
So, but rip.
Rip.
Rip. Did you ever get confirmation you could talk about that thing, or can we not talk about that thing on this episode?
He said he would ask all the other people.
Okay.
So
we will.
It's going up the chain. So we'll talk about it next time, hopefully.
Yeah, we
Or
will
not.
probably talk about it on a upcoming really cool guest we've been wanting on for basically the show's entire existence.
I've met him a couple times in person. He's no idea who the fuck I am, but every one of our interactions, he's been super super nice and genuine and humble and just good. I'll give a little bit of a hint to anyone who might be listening. 7mm French Lebel.
Oh, that's like you gave it away, but whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. You know what? I'm excited. He's a cool fella, and he's yeah. It's very humbling to have such cool fellas on.
We've hit basically everyone who I ever thought would be like a dream guest. We've managed to have on at this point. Now my dream guests are getting fucking like silly.
Yeah. We got to bring on some like non-gun people. Like this was basically us just proselytizing about guns. I really enjoyed stuff like let's bring on a mortician and a teacher and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I'm actually meeting up with that teacher in like 10 minutes to go to fucking Wendy's. I hear American Wendy's is really bad. Canadian Wendy's was surprisingly good.
You're talking about our good friend DJ, who was
Yes.
on our teacher episode talking about
Yes,
public
I had
education
no
stuff.
idea whether I could dox him or not. But
No,
I
he's been on the episode.
I know. I couldn't remember if he was anonymous or not. And now I think about it, he's like he talked about his literal night vision business under his own name in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we can dox him.
But they that group they fooled me into going to Taco Bell for the first time.
Really?
Did I tell you about this?
Did
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you spent $25 and got like less food than anyone else.
Yeah, I don't know
How
I
do you
fucked
do
up.
that at Taco Bell?
Dude, okay, so
Like,
I'm invited out.
I find that so fucking funny that I know about that. Not even from you.
Yeah, so I was invited out on a night vision hike with DJ and Brad and Stacy and all them. Shout out to the boys. And so I head out to North Carolina to hang with them. And as I'm looking at the address they sent me to link up and convoy back to where we were going hiking, I zoom in and I see a fucking Taco Bell. I'm like, fuck's sake, really?
You've never been to a Taco Bell. How the fuck can you call yourself an American?
Oh, come on. I moved to the Southwest. It's Filiberto's, my guy. Philly bees. No, but like, and obviously more authentic Mexican than that, like hole in the wall places. I could have gone to a family owned Mexican place every single time I fancied Mexican food and never touched a Taco Bell. And I did. It was fucking sick. I love the Southwest for that. And so I'd never tried Taco Bell, and even some like native Arizonans were like, "You've never tried Taco Bell? Dude, it's so worth it." I'm like, no, it sounds fucking disgusting. I've heard people describe it as sawdust. It sounds like incredibly mid, and there is excellent Mexican food should I want to eat like a fat ass.
Yeah.
And I would absolutely indulge Mexican food for that. And so I see that we're arriving at fucking Taco Bell, so I'm like, oh god, I hope we're not having lunch here. And sure enough, they're like, well, where do you want to eat? As we stand in the fucking Taco Bell parking lot. So I'm like, well, you motherfuckers invited me here, so I presume.
So I guess you're having Taco Bell.
Yeah. And I think I'd recently joked about it on the show, which is why he set the fucking location to Taco Bell. Yeah, he has a good sense of humor.
He does.
Motherfucker. But so we go in, and there's like a touchpad menu, and I just wanted fucking simple ass like street tacos with a shit ton of steak or whatever.
And you spent $25. How?
I had like, I don't know, dude. I think I had
$25 could buy the restaurant.
I know. I don't know how that was possible. I did 3 fucking like street tacos, which are meant to be like $2 a piece.
Yeah.
And I got like one of the, I think, Taco Bell like Mountain Dews, just because I was trying to do the authentic Taco Bell experience.
Yeah, Baja Blast, I think, is the
some shit like that. And somehow it came out to like $25, and I don't know how I fucked up that badly, because I did not get $25 worth of food.
No. Which is sad, because $25 should buy everything on the menu. It's a Taco Bell.
Yeah, I have no idea how I didn't fucking notice. I was just like, I'd driven like 4 or 5 hours and was hungry, and was just like, yeah, fuck it. Card goes beep, and next thing you know, Taco Bell fucked me.
Apparently, and not in the good way like you want. Dude, I just get a burrito bowl with less rice and more chicken.
That's
same
wise.
thing every time. It's like under $10. It's like
That
the
is
calorie per
probably
dollar
more.
is good, and the macros are pretty good. And like the Taco Bell guac is real guac somehow.
It's the only thing that is not made from sawdust.
Yeah. Like I don't know. I like a good Taco Bell. It's dog shit in Canada, so maybe. But then again, I also like White Castle, so I can't say anything.
You know, I actually had been to Taco Bell, but only in Vegas. The fucking one that has like the Taco Bell cantina where you can get alcoholic slushies and shit.
That sounds fucking amazing. Was I with you?
No, no, I went to Vegas like an obscene amount of times over the last few years because every time a Brit visits America, Vegas is like one of the places they would go.
Yeah.
So I had a cousin visit and we went to Vegas together. I had my best mate visit, we went to Vegas together. And then my fiance's like best friend and her boyfriend at the time wanted to visit Vegas. So we went with them and did another fucking like we did Halloween in Vegas or some shit. So like I've been to Vegas way too many times, more times in my entire life in the last few years. And yeah, I'm so fucking over it. I'm so sad that SHOT Show doesn't move around.
Yeah. No, I do not like Vegas. I went through there on a road trip just a couple weeks ago, and my god, just spending the night there. Circus went for a walk down.
You
the
went
strip to
back
get
to
food.
Circus?
Of course, I went to Circus. I love Circus. It's like one of my
Oh
favorite
god,
things about Vegas.
we just doxed like the hotel that we will probably use again.
Yeah, because it's the best. You know, there was
Okay.
a
Okay, fuck
there-
it. If you're in Vegas for this coming SHOT Show, you will probably run across us if you stay in that hotel.
dude.
Fucking
I love people
my
watching,
life.
and I hate spending money.
Based.
Yeah. They have a Popeyes in the lobby, and it's just full of like, dude. My favorite thing about Circus was like all of the people who were there who were very clearly there for AVN versus the people who are very clearly there for SHOT Show, like playing the game of who's here for what. And if they're at Circus, they're probably not exactly headliners. So
yeah, we're like packing up your fucking Prius with Pelican cases, well as guys like
just like a
guys
Stephen
and gals.
Paddock amount of hardware.
Yeah. Stephen Paddock level. You made a fucking Stephen Paddock joke in the fucking lobby.
Yeah, and like no one picked up on it. Like there was a whole ass line, and it was an intrusive thought. It just came out of me, but no one reacted except for you guys.
Fuck yeah! It was us with a fuck ton of rifles, and then every kind of slut that dads across the country have forgotten about and long since abandoned.
And a lot of like 40-something-year-old dudes that probably spend too much time on X videos. X
Do you think-
hamster.
Can you just like can regular people just go to the AVN?
I don't know. I never looked into it.
Well, because like SHOT Show is like industry, like you know you have to have like a buddy in the industry.
Yeah.
Adult, what was it? Video. Oh, what was it? Adult video.
Adult Video Network? I don't fucking know. I didn't care enough to look. But the idea of like going there and handing out pamphlets for like advanced warfighting solutions or something, very funny to me. Incredibly funny to me.
Yeah, I have no idea. But yeah, that would be so fucking sad. You're on the fucking plane going to Vegas, and the guy's like, "I'm going to the concrete convention. I'm going for the health convention. I'm going for SHOT Show. I'm going to fucking
The 150-year-old like with a beer gut wearing fishnets.
I was just divorced. I'm gonna go and speak to my favorite porn stars in Vegas.
I'm gonna go talk to, I don't know, Bonnie Rotten or something. I don't know. It's like the only porn star name I can think of.
Fuck. We are talking absolute nonsense.
Remember when we were supposed to be like, oh, this is an hour episode? Now we're like way over that.
Yeah, we just wanted to give kind of like have a little chill episode in between guests, kind of recount what's going on. I'm fucking purged. The show continues. I'm now just a disembodied voice. I am nothing but a concept.
I mean, based.
I guess.
Yes.
But for anyone, I don't know, anyone who likes my shit, you can still find me over on Twitter at BRHatesFeds. You can still find me my Substack, which I'm about to post a new article. I haven't posted something in fucking ages. I'm about to post a new article on July 4th. So the Substack is the TheAnarch.Substack.com. So sign up for that email list, and I'll let people know if I'm ever fucking back on Instagram, and kind of if you want to keep up with me other than the podcast, I'll be posting updates there. So we have a pace plan. Have a pace plan, people.
Yeah.
Substack and Twitter is a secondary to Instagram. Last time I was banned in 2020, it took me, I think, at least 8 months to come back. So,
Oof.
yeah, it's gonna take a minute. But I can still post via fucking PP Task Force. So if you don't follow that, and follow Cibernart, because I also, obviously, if you listen to this show, you follow Cibernart. So
Yeah,
I don't know what the fuck I'm saying.
you've been basically posting all of the promos, which I really appreciate. I will make more content. I've been saying that. But now the SCHIZOCAST shop is set up, so I guess I can do that. I can draw more. I have time again between sandblasting. Yeah.
I will help with the guides too, like
Yes, I would appreciate
the formatting and shit. But
yeah, the formatting would
just an
really help. That's
illustration job.
Yeah, that would really help. I gotta finish like uploading everything into Google Drives to the Patreon. Apparently, I'm missing a guide or two, like the one on how to, like, what sort of rifle stuff to buy for your first gun. That's gotta go up. But yeah, if you're listening to this, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to just power through my dad advice, and then you can. 20 inches is not too short for CQB, but it might be too short for your wife. So watch out.
If it's too short for your wife, God fucking help you. That woman's asking for you to go and grab the broom.
But yes, M16 life. I am now making an inanimate object my whole personality.
Based. Always. It's always based to make inanimate objects your personality and to acquire more product to make yourself better. That's the only way to get better. Performance only comes with purchases, so buy things.
Yeah, exactly. Consume.
Yes.
Fuck a shot timer. You don't need it.
Hell no. Oh, yes. No, my dad advice will relate to my banning because, as I was saying earlier, all things are temporary. Just consider what you put your time into. Like, not to belittle surrogate activities, in the words of Kaczynski, but sometimes they are good for the brain. And like I've been saying on the recent, Warhammer 40k episode and the last one with Nick, like, having a few frivolous things in your life is very important. But really consider, coming home and doom scrolling for 2-3 hours. Some people, they say they come home and, I just scrolled for half an hour. Was it half an hour or was it 2 hours? Like, we've all been there. We've all done it. Really, consider what you do with your time on this this beautiful earth and all these the great people in our lives. Make sure you're not just sitting next to your favorite people, but you're spending valuable time with them and enjoying what life's actually about. Not doom scrolling and getting your dopamine trickle from blue light. That shit, yeah, that shit is lame. So yeah, try and
touch
get
grass.
offline a little bit. Yeah, touch grass this 4th of July. Happy Independence Day, people. Fuck them redcoats. Fuck the king. We actually have a king, so we can say that again now. We don't have a king. Sure as fuck not. The peasants of Europe do. But
oof.
Yeah. Stay free, motherfuckers.
Stay free, motherfuckers. Buy M16s.
Buy M16s.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.